Hey y'all, it's Rusty at Mossy Oak, and today we've got Dr. Bill Dickinson from Tetra Hearing Devices in town with us, and we're taking a look at several of the awesome Tetra products. You know, for me, Bill, I'm at the age to where I never cared about my hearing, really, before, but now my eyes are open to it, where if I don't start paying attention to it, I may not have much hearing here before too long, you know? And I guess from talking to you this week and learning a lot of cool stuff about hearing, you take it for granted as a hunter, you know? I mean, I know I do. You know, the hearing is such a key part of the hunt. Just think about if you couldn't hear nature while you were out there. So what you guys have done at Tetra is really revolutionized the opportunity to enhance the ability to hear so much better for a hunter. So do you want to talk about your products and kind of talk about the technology?
Yeah, first of all, you set that up perfect, Rusty. I mean, literally, I've been an audiologist for 29 years, and it was all about restoring. I mean, what I felt the good Lord put me on the earth for is to restore the delight of hearing, right? That's what I chose. That's what got me excited in college, and dumped a bunch of money and a bunch of time into learning how to do it. And it was all about fixing broken ears, and most of those broken ears that I got to take care of resulted from mostly males kind of doing dumb stuff along their life. And it's between recreational activities like, you know, hunting and running tractors and running chainsaws, or occupational, as whether you worked as a construction worker and a factory worker or lawn care, it doesn't matter. We tend to put our ears in kind of rather hostile environments, and that's really what my partner David Genevico, he's an audiologist in Nashville with me, and we met at Vanderbilt. We're both die-hard hunters. Kind of waterfowl hunting is if we had any choice, you could take away everything from us. We're going to fight hardest to be in that green timber and shooting greenheads. So what we did with Tetra is we took kind of all the science that we've been doing in hearing aid fittings and how we build and design hearing aid circuits, and we just took that over and made it to what you need as a hunter. And we're the first time ever, and this is what has been so much fun about getting to know all the guys and gals here at Mossy Oak, and kind of the whole vision that Toxie had a long time ago of creating a specific camo pattern for a specific hunting scenario, right? A specific hunting pursuit.
Right.
We really kind of took that same type of thinking, and we have designed a Tetra product for a specific hunting pursuit. And what we've done is we've isolated and enhanced the frequencies that are most needed, whether you're a turkey hunter or a waterfowl hunter or an elk hunter or big game whitetail deer hunter and pheasant hunting, upland. We went through and we isolated what are the most important sounds that make that hunt successful. We can put an amplifier in the ear and turn everything up, and you might hear the turkey gobble, you might not hear the turkey gobble, right? Because what you're probably hearing, if we're not isolating that specific sound, you're hearing all the wind that's going on around. You're hearing the wind blow across the microphones. You're hearing squirrels coming through the woods that sound like elephants, right? And that's what we heard. That's what I experienced. You know, back at Vanderbilt and throughout my entire career, we would end up recommending and fitting these types of devices, and guys like you would come back and they're like, yeah, it did fine when I pulled the trigger, but it gave me a crappy hearing experience. And so that's really what we're trying to do at Tetra. We kind of started things off with these little guys here. These are called the amp pods, and it's about amplification that fits just naturally down in the ear canal. And as you can see, it leaves all of this open up in my ear, and that's how sound is gathered and focused down into my ear canal. The microphone is now down in the opening, so my brain is receiving sound just like it normally would without that device in the ear. And we went through and we said, okay, we digitized, these are the specific sounds that a turkey hunter needs to hear. And one size doesn't fit all, whether it's for hearing or whether it's for camo, right? Like there's some good bottom lamb stuff that you can get around in any old situation. And so sometimes it works, but the idea is that the protective needs and the enhancement needs of that waterfall hunter or the upland hunter or the guy shooting on the range is completely different than what the elk hunter needs or the turkey hunter needs. And so we have an amp series, which is what the amp pods are, and that's really about enhancement. Okay. We don't really promote it as hearing protection, it's gun suppression. Right? So we've gone in, we've isolated the frequencies of the gun, and we can shut that off completely. But what we can do is we can boost exactly what you need to hear, especially when those turkeys are using all the words that they like to talk about, right?
Absolutely. And on the amps this fall, a lot of us here at Mossy Oak used them on bow hunts for deer.
Yep.
And I'm gonna tell you, that was a game changer. I mean, it's nothing better if you're sitting up in a lock on 25 foot up and you hear the footsteps and you have time to get ready and you can literally focus in on where you think it's coming. And with those things, with the amps, you could dial in, and as soon as you said, I'm about to see that deer, there he was. And then sometimes it resulted in a kill shot, sometimes it didn't. But the fact that you could call it, I hear him coming and I'm gonna see him right there, and then you actually did, was crazy. And that happened to us, man. These things are awesome.
We know as hunter, eyes kill, right? Not the weapon. Right. If you don't get your eyes on it, then you're never gonna kill that animal. And it's funny, for the last year, the deer hunters would call, and they kind of said exactly what you said. They'd say like, man, I feel like I've got a superpower now, right? Yeah. The turkey hunters would call back and they'd say, man, I feel 25 years old again, right? I can hear back like I remember hearing. And so, and that's kind of what we're looking. We're looking to restore, man, my goal as a hearing doctor is as long as those legs will carry you, we want to make sure that you can hear and be connected and be engaged. We use the slogan, hear the hunt. And yeah, it's about what's going on around you in the woods, but a lot of it is this, right? A lot of it is that tradition and that family and the conversations that you have in the truck on the way to the woods and in the duck blind when they're not flying.
That's
and,
right.
When we talk about hear the hunt, that's all very important.
No doubt about it.
The guy who needs the amp pod were the guys that weren't using these types of devices, right? So this is the Alpha Shield. We really have two lines. We have a universal fit, which is what the Alpha Shield is here, and the amp pod. We don't need to do any custom ear impressions for that. We can do everything also in our full custom line. This type of device, getting a custom mold, I'll talk about that in more detail. That's been around for a very long time. The new parts of that is what you can't see. It's the guts inside.
I got you.
And so we'll come back to that, but it's important that everyone understands you can do a universal fit and you can still go ahead and do the custom fit.
Okay.
Back on the universal fit, and this is where we get into the protective side. And so we call it our Shield series. This is the Alpha Shield. You can get it in various different colors. Fits down into the ear. Everything that we're trying to do, how your ear gathers and collects sound and delivers to your brain is completely different as long as the microphone is on the inside of this rim. So from a bunch of really boring, dorky scientific studies over the last 40 or 50 years, we know that if the microphone can get on the inside of this rim, your ability to be able to detect or localize where sound is coming from is enhanced by about 10-fold, okay? You put a microphone up over the ear, you put a microphone that sits further out, you certainly put a microphone like on a side of muffs, and now you got them sitting on the side of your head. Your ability to detect where sound is coming from is completely shot. Our brain uses the differences. The reason that I know that turkey gobbled over here and not over here is because this ear got a unique signal compared to this ear. Yep. And that's what we're rebuilding back into Tetra. So,
well, with the shields, the experience we had this fall, also with those, it was exactly what you said. With the old school muff style, everything's just loud. Everything is. Like, you can hear everything, but you don't know where you are. Like, you hear something, but you don't know if it's back there, up there. It's almost too much. Well, I popped those things in. First of all, I used them on a range to check the zero of the rifle before we hunted, and unbelievable. It suppressed that shot sound. Awesome, And then, of course, I could hear really well, communicate with my partner, co-worker, Walt, actually is who it was, Walt Gabber from Mossy Oak. We were standing there together shooting. Normally at the shooting range, you're all plugged up and shoot. Where was that? Huh? That kind of deal, and unplugging. Never have to take them out. You can hear people talk. and it suppresses the sound. But the biggest thing to me is when we went and got in the blind to hunt. Gosh, I just felt like I was in the middle of them. I felt like I could hear a deer walking from anywhere, even being inside a blind. And then we actually did. And then the fact that, you know, we had success and then shot the gun, didn't have to worry about the sound of the gun blowing my ear out, was awesome. So first-hand experience on both of them. Really love the Shield.
And that's cool. And you know, thank the Lord you're not at the point where you need the amplification in order to be able to do those types of things.
Right.
But the important thing is to be able to protect your ear when that stuff is going on. And
cool.
what the guys on the bench are coming back with is that they're completely comfortable getting a good cheek weld and getting their face down and getting in the scope. We had a few weeks ago, we had this out on a 1,200 meter range, and the snipers are absolutely going nuts that they didn't have to come out of shooting position, take off the muff, and listen for the steel downrange, that they could completely stay in proper position and that they could still hear. And all four of them were kind of having an out-of-body experience because they've never had that in all their shooting.
And at that distance, you can't afford to come out of the rifle at all when you shoot, right? It takes away all timidness, any, you know, if a guy's scared at all of recoil or anything, it takes it all away. It gives you complete confidence. Wearing those things give you complete confidence to stay in the rifle and execute your shot.
There you go.
Man, that's awesome. That's some incredible products. So we got the amp, we got the Shield, and we can also have a custom.
Everything that we do in here, we can do in the custom. We make a single pursuit, so you can buy it as just the amp pod turkey, or amp pod deer, or amp pod elk, or just waterfall or upland or range. But then once we're able to get that chip to open up, and we could kind of stack the deck, so to speak, it just went on fire. So we created what's called a multi-pursuit.
Okay.
And so what the multi-pursuit is, allows us in any of these form factors to put in all of those different programs. We can program up to 6 different, our patented formula of replicating animal sounds. We got a patent on that. It's called Specialized Target Optimization. And that STO formula for elk, turkey, deer, range, upland, waterfall can be put in any of those devices.
Man, that's neat. You know, there's guys out there that maybe they're just hardcore waterfowlers and they don't really fool with deer or anything else, or vice versa, or whatever the case may be. But for me, and I know a lot of us at Mossy Oak, we love to hunt it all. So that multi-pursuit one would be the one that I would need, and I would love that for sure.
We call it the sounds of every season, right? We can kind of stack the deck. If you just chase ducks in the fall and you just chase turkeys in the spring, we can stack it. You can have 2 or 3 or 4 programs of one versus the other. We will make it to what your life needs, right? This is about allowing our customers to do whatever they want to do in the woods for as long as they want to do it.
That is awesome. Well, Bill, thanks for being with us. I mean, we've learned so much. We used the products, guys, in the fall, all of these different models, and it changed us here at Mossy Oak using these products. I mean, it really brought back the importance of hearing, you know, and we take it for granted. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I know I've taken it for granted too long, and I've been careless with not protecting my hearing up until this point where I'm at now. And I've got young boys at home that love to hunt. And so now that's how important is that, right? For the youth, for the young, the next generation, to make sure that we're smart with them when we're teaching them, right? And you guys at Tetra with this revolutionary technology has made it to where, you know, hey, hunters are gonna be able to hear, they're not gonna lose their hearing, and they're gonna be able to hear better than ever before, and then just enjoy that aspect of the hunt even more than ever before with Tetra products. So
we wanna help you. I'd love if your granddaddy's still with us, help him, help your uncle, your dad. If I had to give it all up, I'd help those young boys. And the idea is to prevent a lifetime of abuse that gets them to be like the type of older guys. And I hate saying that out loud because hearing loss is not an old age thing, right?
Right.
When I was back in clinic, I can't tell you how many 40, 50-year-olds, you know, pretty tough, tatted up dudes that are getting really frustrated and their eyes are tearing up about how this hearing loss is impacting their job, their career, their relationships with family, going to church. Like it's not just, we hear so many bad jokes about, you know, I know what Grandpa's watching when I pull in the driveway because the TV's up so loud, right? And we got a bunch of stuff to help him. Really, the goals and the mission of Tetra is to help those younger generations so they don't necessarily end up like
Grandpa. Hey man, thanks for being here.
Okay, here are the hunt.
Yep, that's right.